Hi there, my name's Greg from Canopi, and today I'd like to introduce you to what I think is one of the greatest hacks of e-learning, or any training really. It's not just e-learning. If you're designing training courses, this thing will save you a ton of time. If you're a mature sort of training developer, then you'll probably know this. But if you're a subject matter expert doing micro-learning courses, for example, and you've been asked to write stuff, this is the greatest hack in e-learning. So they're called cognitive verbs, and a guy called Benjamin Bloom spent a lot of time in the 50s thinking about training and training evaluation and training design, and he's one of the great educators and the great theorists of that. And one of the key things is the use of verbs when we write training objectives. Now, when I first started entering the classroom, I had to look up what the word verb meant. So just to save you that time, a verb is a word that's used to describe an action, a state or an occurrence. So we generally focus on an action. So jump, skip, hop. They're verbs that describe somebody doing something. So generally, just think of it as the doing words. So Bloom did a lot of work about how do we actually use words to describe learning outcomes. And they're called his cognitive verbs. But what we want to do is make it nice and simple for you. He wrote in 3 domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So a list of verbs that will actually help you write your learning objective. The hack for me was, I found, this is in the early days of training when I was teaching 3D games animation, and we had to write learning outcomes for each of the courses, or learning objectives for the course. And I found this table of cognitive verbs that we can use at different levels. Now, the big trick here is that these here have different levels. So as I'm going through each one of these, I would generally be saying, look, these are simple knowledge based on the left-hand side, and design, high-level sort of descriptions on the right-hand side. People have republished these lists of verbs for a long time. But here's the hack, here's the tip, here's the thing that'll save you a ton of time. If you come and download the document that we've got there for you, and sort of say, I am writing a learning objective for a learner, and all I need them to do is know or do the particular action. You can come to column 3 or 4, basically. That is the application sort of area or levels. And you can just choose a verb down that list and say, Greg must write, describe, count, jump, weld. You can pick a verb, a doing word from that column to write your learning objective. So as an example, the learning objective for the course you're currently doing, which is how to write a learning objective, is write. So at the conclusion of this course, you will be able to write a learning objective for a micro-learning course. So you can see this is us defining the objective for the course you're currently doing right at the moment. Now, if you look at Bloom's taxonomy here, actually that is down in the knowledge. The word write is in the knowledge level. So we're thinking that you're actually doing a create activity out to the right. So use these things loosely. It's a good starting point to think about, but sort of go, well, look, the action I want someone to perform is in this column, and the fact that your verb doesn't appear there doesn't mean you can't use it. But it gets you thinking about, what do I want the learner to do? Because a verb is a doing word. So this course here is about writing learning objectives. What we want you to do is think about, what actual verb would I use when I'm writing my objective for my learners? I want them to weld, I want them to inspect, I want them to move, I want them to count. Whatever it is, pick a verb and say, my objective will have a verb in it. And then you say, on what object would they do that? So there's our little tip, or my little tip. This changed the way that I started writing curriculum sort of documents and training packages in the very early days of my career for 3D games animation. And you could Google this for hours. I'd say download the document below. Say, I'm about to write a learning objective. I need to grab the list, pick a word from the list, make sure it fits. If it doesn't, you can move it around a little bit, but use Bloom's taxonomy. Greatest tip in e-learning. If you like that video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit subscribe. If you want to be notified when we do a new video, hit the notifications button. And one of the things that would help us the most is if you actually put a comment in the video down below about how you use Bloom's taxonomy, or if you don't use it. If you have a reason why you don't use Bloom's taxonomy for writing your learning objectives, let us know in the comments below. Thanks very much and have a good day.